Hey everybody, it is Justin, your guide into the other side. So a lot of people have been asking, hey, how do I reorient for season 2? Like, what do I need to do? Like, how long is it going to take me to defeat my shattered boss? What tools can I use? And that's just kind of the purpose of this video because, I was asking the same questions the same. So the main things in the updates that we kind of talked about back when season 2 began was, first of all, master chest timers are scaled per tier. So for example, my tier 2 deed in front of me is about, the master chest is 20 days, right? But, if you look at what I have here, I'm not going to beat it in 20 days. So what does that mean? It means that the chest that I'm going to get is not going to be a master. It's going to downgrade to an intermediary. And to be honest, I kind of expected that with regard, because, again, season 1 was, it was a little bit rough. We had some extensions and a lot more leniency, especially when it comes to like master chest. The timers were extended from 10 days to 20 days. And, a lot of the people, a lot of us that had just regular Maras were able to, farm a lot of the master chest loot, right? Which, what that kind of corresponds with is the legendary items, from the, Forgotten Ruins, Renga, Serum City, as well as the ship parts and, World of Women, etc., etc. So, in this season, they also adjusted the number of loot inside. I think there was a lot of rebalancing with the amount of loot inside. There's a lot less ship parts because in season 1, a lot of that stuff went to waste because not that many people were able to, there was a lot of ship parts in season 1, and it definitely was rebalanced. So there's definitely going to be a lot more scarcity in this season, a lot more, I guess it feels like, yeah, things are scaling up. Things are getting a little bit more difficult, and people are recomping their teams and their OTAs to adjust. So, okay, so where do we start? So I wanted to pull up and use the Otherside-Wiki's Legends of the Mara Wizard because basically, if you go to your camp, you can just copy and paste your other deed ID into the box here and just press enter, and it'll actually pull up your other deed, right? It'll pull up your sediment tier, it'll pull up your environment. It's still a little bit rough because I don't have a farmer on here, but it's calculating this because I actually have a I have a farmer, but it's not assigned, so I'm just going to ignore the farming aspect for now, but I'm actually going to cover what everybody's been looking at, which is the hunting, because, people kind of want, I want to get loot, right? The loot looks pretty epic. I definitely want to use the Forgotten Ruins loot, when it comes out, because I got wizards and, obviously the loot may go hand in hand. I don't know. So that might help with scaling later, season 3 and beyond, when friends get implemented, when we get all the sediment, when we get blah, blah, blah. There's a gazillion things that's going through my head, and I just have to cover the wizards. So, basically, if you have your other deed, when you copy and paste your ID into it, it'll pull up what you have assigned to it, right? So on this deed, I have my epic hunter and I have my common hunter, right? And that's going to, spit out your DPS, which is, 100 for what I have here. And basically it's going to show me how many days it's going to take me to defeat my Sidian boss, right? So it says, okay, it takes me 25 days, 10 hours and 1 minute to defeat my Sidian boss with, this amount of HP, right? So I can get a rough estimate for how long it's going to take me to beat my boss, whether it's going to be intermediate or master or novice. And you can kind of see as the boss scales. So you can kind of see after I beat the Sidian boss, you can kind of see the Thrash boss here with 360 million HP. It's going to take me 35 days, right? It's going to take me 25 days for the first boss. It's going to take me 35 days for the second boss. And it's going to take me 40 days for the Caviar boss for a total of 101 days, right? And we already know that if we actually click on the leaderboard, there's only 75 days left. So optimizing for your deed, especially if you want to get your master chest, you'll probably have to make some adjustments. But again, that's totally up to you. You don't necessarily have to farm everything on the deed. It's just what you can deal with, of course. So by all means, just you don't have to overextend. I'm not necessarily overextending right now. I just kind of downsized to my hunting deed, but that's totally okay. I'll just pick up things that I want on market when that comes out. So you might be wondering, okay, so how do I adjust this so I can actually get the master chest, right? So you might have to adjust, you can basically click none. Let's just say I took off all of my my Maras from my deed, and let's just say I wanted to say, prospectively say, hey, what would a coda, make that timer look like, right? And of course, coda, if I added a coda and I clicked on a different, I'm just going to click random abilities here. You can kind of see the timers compared to before. The Sidian has 18 days, right? So if you have a coda on a tier 2, in the case of my particular deed, it's going to take 18 days, right? It'll take 26 days for the Thrash, and it'll take 29 days for Caviar, right? For a total of 74 days. So, if you started with a coda on a tier 2, you would have been able to farm every single thing. You would have gotten 1 master chest, 2 intermediaries, I believe. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know how long the intermediary chest is going to take. I don't know what the timer is. But essentially, that's just kind of what I would expect, right? But let's just say, hey, I want to add another coda. Like, what would that eventually look like, right? And that would basically cut the time in half. The Sidian, it would take me about 9 days to defeat it. It would take me 13 days for Thrash, and it would take me 14 days for Caviar. And that basically would ensure that I have, all 3 master chests on my tier 2, right? And you can also do the calculations. Hey, if I had 2 tier 2s, I could rotate my codas over to the other deed, the other deed, and I'd be able to farm 2 deeds fully within the time frame of the entire season, right? Because it would take 37 days. And again, it's going to vary based on what you have. It's going to vary based on whether you add enchanters. It's going to vary based on, what particular abilities that you use as well. And it's going to be a lot of, tool testing and, kind of figuring out things from there. So it's honestly up to you what you want to utilize, kind of based on what you already have. And it'll just help you basically figure out, just kind of an rough estimate of whether you'll be able to, farm particular loot pools or not. So again, that's just kind of my basic mini tutorial on how to use this Legends of Tomorrow Wizard tool, basically. So again, basically, season 2 got a little bit more difficult for just regular Maras. And again, it's kind of prepping us to, prepare for seasonal catalysts like we saw yesterday. It's kind of prepping us to prepare for scaling, prepare for HP implementation, prepare for adding friends and loot, preparing for the whole gamut of things, in season 2.53 on and on. So if you are looking for a coda, I can't necessarily say anything about, whether you should get one or not. But currently the prices have, kind of pumped after a while. It's been a long time since we saw a coda, coda demand, drive up. And, we went from about 2.7 to 4.7, which is kind of wild. So if you are looking for codas, feel free to take a look at, the Otherside Wiki's tool. Pretty great, especially if you're looking for particular traits, right? You can browse floor codas. You can kind of see their abilities too. This one has I think this is a debuff. This is the weaken debuff along with the Firestorm ability. You can kind of pick and choose based on what you like as well. And if you're looking for particular, say mega traits, you can kind of click on say clothing. Let's just say I wanted to check for mega clothing. Okay, I can't figure this out. But anyways, yeah, you'll be able to see which codas have mega traits. You'll be able to see which codas have weapons, etc., etc. Basically, it's great to take a look and see what's going on. But again, I just have Otherside Wiki because it's pretty easy. I already have it open. But again, that's all I got for today. I just kind of want to cover the the Legends of Tomorrow dashboard, how to use the wizard, and kind of figure out how to play and plan for season 2, because I know it's going to be a long season. So use your time wisely, because we only have so much time, and beating these bosses take a lot more time. So again, that's all I got. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and if you learned anything. All the links will be in the description, of course, and you guys know where to find me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.